Mic check is good. Welcome to Frontline Manor. I am your host, Kevin Stewart, Mr. Do Right, if you did not know. And I'm here again with Dr. Harvey, Mayor of Manor, and we're going to talk about all things Manor. He brought in the facts today. so he's ready to dispel any questions or concerns that someone may have about what's going on in Manor. So I appreciate you coming in today. He is here a week early. That's fine because he got some stuff going on. He may or may not talk about it. I'll leave that to his discernment. But we here today and let's get it started. What's going on? I'm gonna ask you first. How did it was the Hispanic Heritage Festival that happened this weekend, right? How was that?
Yeah, it was fun. We were there at Timberman Park, 12 to 6, and we did proclamation. We had some booths and set up, and that the city had, and we were giving away T-shirts. Our new design Hispanic Heritage shirts.
Okay.
And let's see. We also had water and air conditioned, outdoor air conditioned fans sponsored by Blue Bonnet Electric. So we're trying to keep it cool and that kind of thing. We had music.
Okay.
We had dance performances, free face paint, bounce houses, and a little train.
Really?
Yeah, a little train so the kids could get on train and take rides around.
And it was in the parking lot?
Yes.
Okay.
No, actually on the grass area.
Okay.
We had, I don't know, maybe about 20 vendors that were selling different things, and then probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 food trucks. And, snow cones and drinks, all kind of aqua frescas.
Yes.
Frescas out there. So I mean, it was a great time. I enjoyed myself.
So yeah, it sounds like it's growing, and a lot of people are participating in the events now.
Yeah. We have more people this year, and we hope to extend the time in the future and do something even larger.
So what's the next big event set up for Manor?
Let's see, what month is this?
It's October. We ain't got too many more.
So we have our police event where we're doing the National Night Out.
Okay.
At Timberman Park. That's where we do it's a lot of evening events, and we convert the park into kind of a what is it, scare house?
Okay. Like a haunted house.
Haunted house. Yeah. We turn the park into a haunted house. And then there's some other things that are available out there for families to come out and participate. So this family fun, and there, I think after that we have our Christmas event, first week of December, at the park as well.
Okay. So, the chief was here last week, and he regretted he wanted to put that out there and forgot. So I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, I got you, chief. I got you.
Okay.
So those are our big ones. We're also doing a mayor's ball, where we honor our community members that are giving back and providing service into the community, helping others. So and also excellence with our staff members. That'll be again, I think in December.
Okay.
So actually, we gave away some free tickets to some of the residents that came to the Hispanic Heritage.
Oh, all right, that's cool.
So they showed up. They got a chance to do a raffle by signing up and learning about the different things we got going on. And then, actually, I don't think we gave the tickets away yet. They signed up, and now we'll do a raffle, and then they'll find out to get a free ticket.
Okay, now I remember. So I saw you at the 290 Extension event, and I haven't talked to you since that. Have you heard any feedback on anything from that?
Yeah, I talked to the gentlemen and ladies that run the work with CTMRA, and we talked about the turnout.
Okay.
So we definitely have more turnout than any other event we've had with CTMRA, but there was a lot of folks that did not show up. And so we talked about, so, I would say a good majority, that was probably less than 1% of the population.
Right.
But we talked about how to continue outreach. And so they actually were at the Hispanic Heritage Festival with the table.
Oh, really?
And taking feedback, they had Wi-Fi on site so that people could do surveys. And we talked about some promotional videos, myself and them and others getting in some promotional videos, running them on social media, including TikTok, so that we can just get people to grab their attention, have them click the link, and go fill out the survey. So I think so far the information that we've received is that people want a solution.
Mm-hmm.
They're split on paid versus toll,
Mm.
and let's see, I think they want to know how long it's going to take, and so and that's positive. I mean, we don't. I'm glad people want a solution. Nobody's coming there and saying we're good. Go somewhere else.
Right.
So I think we on our end we need to spend more time talking about how tolls are paid, and and what other options we have.
And when you say how tolls are paid, like what the tolls go towards, like the building construction, or what you mean?
Well, just like where do they get their money from to pay for the cost?
Okay.
And so and just really breaking that down so they can understand that process of this is how when it's ready to go, where does the money come from? The money comes from here, and then when you ride the toll, those toll fees go to pay back the cost.
Okay.
And that kind of thing, so people can understand that this is how the toll is paid. There's an upfront pay or payment, and then there's for the construction and everything goes, and then our tolls, as whoever uses it, those toll dollars go there. And there's probably some other details. I'm giving a very broad, generic overview, but that's pretty much how the process goes. But I think breaking it down so people can have an understanding of what it looks like, and then what happens when the toll is paid off. In this particular case, this is not just a Manor thing.
Right.
This is a Manor, Elgin, and Bastrop situation because it has implications for all of our cities.
Okay.
And so it's an expensive project. It's probably, I don't know, at least 4 to 5 times more expensive than maybe what it would have been if we had done it 20 years ago.
Well, yeah, facts. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where if it's not done now,
it's going to be more expensive in the
it's going to
future.
be double what it is now.
And then it wouldn't even be viable, and it might as well just wait for TxDOT to finally do something. But that's, like you said, way down the line before they even consider it.
Well, we have to talk about what that looks like, because if TxDOT pays it,
Mm-hmm.
this is no longer coming from, usage fees. This is something that's going to hit the entire state.
Right.
So, we don't know what that looks like, where the whole state has to, increase, if there's going to be a tax increase in here. Some people talked about, I think it was raising the gas tax or whatever.
Really?
So that they can have more money for roads. I think I'm calling it correct. So a lot of those taxes have been raised, so there's not enough money going to TxDOT for roads. So increasing that tax or that fee there gives the state more money to do more road projects. But then that means every time we go to the gas station,
you pay more money.
We pay more money there. So it's kind of really about where we're going to pay somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we want to pay? And that's why that education piece is important. Do we want to pay here? Do we want to pay there? And if we say, okay, well, we'd rather pay the gas. Well, will the gas tax, will it increase?
Right.
Because now we're state folks. We're taking a local concern that right now has a potential solution, and we're saying we don't want to do that. Let's instead lobby legislators to go against what they've chosen not to do for a long time. And so we're going to convince them to raise that. And then once we do that, there's still not a guarantee that the money raised is going to come back for $2.90.
Right.
So we might raise our gas, and then they may say, well, we actually need this road that's going to go. We need to fix another road between Dallas and Houston, or Houston and San Antonio. I-10 needs more work. We on the budget for I-35. We don't know what it is because it's going into the pool of money for the state of Texas. And so you raise the gas tax. They say, we're good. We're not going to do $2.90.
And then we still stuck.
And you still stuck. And you paying more.
More.
So this is one of those situations where we absolutely can have to determine our own fate.
So with just how it would look if we did get this tollway,
Mm-hmm.
the flyover Manor,
Mm-hmm.
will that mean that the flyover is towed and the roads in Manor are towed?
No, just the flyover.
So I'm glad you said that because there was some confusion about that. I saw that oh, the toll road. Now we're gonna have to pay to drive on our own streets, and it's like that's not how it works. Literally, if you drive down the other end of 290
Mm-hmm.
and it's a tollway, you can go down 290 on the side for free.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. So
Well, that's why the education piece is so
Yeah.
important, because like a lot of times no one knows, because maybe they don't frequent they don't exit out a lot, or they go different ways to where they're going, and so like there's some people that just never go to downtown Austin, so they never go 290 West.
okay, fair enough.
And you know, there's some people that always do back roads because of traffic, or they just are anti-toll, so they never get on it, so they're never aware. But there are some spaces where there are tolls and there's no frontage road.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and
like
so
130.
if you've seen those spaces, then you're thinking that's going to be the same thing for Manor, because maybe you can't operationalize in your head. You can't imagine that space changing
Mm-hmm.
and what it's going to look like. And so the first thing we talked about before we got this far down the road with CTRA is what happens in regards to free roads. And so they work to maintain the same number of free roads that are currently in place. So where there's 3 lanes, they try to do designs that maintain 3 lanes of free.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it's 2 lanes, they maintain 2 lanes free. So that, and then add the additional. And that's why really the flyover is the most important thing to do, because that way you only need easement so that you can put the post to go up,
Right.
and then everything else you can go down. Okay. And those people that talked about tunneling down and stuff, those are flood issues. The pump system is too expensive, and if you have a power outage, then you just flooded your city.
Right.
And put people, tens of thousands of people in danger, putting their lives in danger. So tunneling is not a good situation.
No, trying to make it the underpass lower than 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that wouldn't work.
Yeah, as flat as our land is, all that water has to go somewhere.
Right.
So you either flooding here on the road, or you flooding someone downstream.
Yes. Okay, and I asked you about the tolls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Somebody brought it up. I said it's going to be painful, but it's painful now, and with no solution, it's definitely going to be painful. How do you see construction looking if the project is given the go ahead? How if it's already bad with no construction on 290, how bad is it going to be with this?
I can't tell you how bad it would
Right.
be. I can tell you that I used to go from here to Manor to Waco 3-4 times a month.
Okay.
During the time period, they were fixing 35.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember those slowdowns, and I remember the routes off the road and those different kind of things. And there was some frustration when it first started, but then it seemed like TechStop got really good at navigating us around the spaces, and so building the wraparound area prior to closing off the space. And so I think there's 2 things. One, the importance of the engineers doing that part, thinking,
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they do. That's what all this pre-planning work is for. And once there's a final decision, they'll continue that and decide, okay, as we build this, we need to route traffic this way. As we build this, we need to route traffic that way. And I'm assuming they'll build as much as they can first that doesn't require any traffic redirection. My other assumption in this is that not my other assumption, my other observation from personally driving through a lot of that on a regular basis is the patience and awareness of the drivers matters more than the reroutes.
Okay.
And that's going to be a challenge, because there's a lot of, right now on 290, there's a lot of impatience.
Yes.
And so my hope is that people choose to be aware and choose to be safe, but also work on being able to drive and pay attention to road signs and navigate, turns or widening, whatever it could be. Because I think when people have not driven in any of those types of conditions,
Mm-hmm.
they get overly cautious and they drive extremely slow. And so people that are coming and it's supposed to speed limit of, let's just say it drops to 50 or 40, whatever it could be, right? Let's say, and they're going that mile per hour, but someone is scared.
Mm-hmm.
They may drop down to 20. And that's where have seen a lot of the accidents take place is people being scared and they slow down and someone comes around the corner and hits them. So I think everyone kind of thinking about being aware, being
Mm-hmm.
alert, being up, not having cell phones out. There's a lot that goes on 290. And just maybe refreshing themselves on traffic safety signs, curves, and those kinds of things so they know how to navigate whatever it may be safely. And I think if people do that, then I think we can get there. So, but I mean, these are all speculations.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say, there's if we could, if there was a magic wand to, wave, snap fingers, and it would be built, then we would all do that. But yeah, there's going to be there's going to be some uncomfort,
Oh yeah.
some discomfort because you got to build it, and
Yeah.
it's not going to happen in a month, not going to happen in 2 months. It's going to take some time to do it, and I think we just have to, be aware of it and deal with it. I don't know. I don't know how else to answer it. It's to get what you want takes time. To get what we want takes time. It's a process, and yes, there may be additional delays, but we'll be getting what we need.
Yeah. We're gonna have to go through that pain to get exactly what it is that we want. Uh, we just have to just endure it because it is better to sit up here and endure this pain than endure what we're going through now.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like we said before on last month, it's navigate through this process
Mm-hmm.
and of selecting this option and then navigating patiently through the construction, or wait 25 years and hope there's a solution that happens after 25 years.
And then,
but you're still navigating, you still got the same problem. Matter of fact, it's going to be worse because you're going to have more people on
yes, and in 25 years, you imagine, just think back 25 years. Think to the year 2000, how things were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, it's, well, we already know it's unmanageable. That's what I was about to say. But it's like, in 25 years, we don't even know what cars going to be like. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know what gas price is going to be like. It's like, who wants to wait that long just for them to widen the road to still have the same situation? Because widening roads don't solve problems. And we already building, which means that the roads would have to encroach on the easements of all these businesses that we just brought in. And it's like, it's not a solution. I mean, at least this is something that we can hold on to, and it can really make an impact, like you said, not just for Manor, but all the way down the line.
And that's the thing, because all of this is a very complex process.
Right.
And there was a time period where people were hesitant to even come to Manor because there was no plan for 290. And a lot of businesses want to build off of 290, and so it's kind of one of those things where you work with people and you try to have, a kind of agreed upon setback for all the new ones coming to the area. Because if you don't, and you're not working with people and you're not with the businesses and tech start to kind of start having those conversations now, then what could happen is people won't come because they don't want to they don't want to build, and then tech start come and say, yeah, we need 15 more feet or 30 feet or 50 feet of your store, and now you're selling, and maybe can't find another place. And so it's these are have been very tough conversations, because how do you get an HEB when you're not sure if it's going to be a highway, and you need to make sure that there's a plan for people to be able to access HEB from the highway, and they can see HEB from the highway, and then the same thing for all the other stores. And so we had to have all those kinds of conversations and hypotheticals, because what if the people don't pick something?
What you mean? Don't pick something.
Don't pick a highway solution. They say no to the toll. Then and what if they say yes to it? So we have to have all of those hypotheticals because it's a situation where if you're a landowner,
Mm-hmm.
you want to get the most out of land you just bought, and so at one point you're hoping you do the right set aside so it doesn't matter. But two, if you do the right set aside and then um, it's not going to be a highway, then whatever land that you set aside for that easement, depending on what has been constructed or drainage or whatever it may be placed, that's money that's been lost.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a very complex situation, and it's not just as easy as people think. Because if I don't know what's coming, I may not ever come. Same token, if I know what's coming, then I may come. I'm gonna come now, or I need to get in now because things are getting more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's all. I mean, there's so many things that we're trying to balance because you gotta if you don't attract the needs of the area
Mm-hmm.
in at a viable time period, and costs and stuff may increase, you may not ever get it.
Okay.
And then residents will be upset. Well, why we can't have this? Why we can't have that? Why we can't? We waited too long. We waited till a highway solution was made. All the people chose to go somewhere else. They chose to go to other places, and because they have these radiuses where they say, okay, I'm gonna put my store or my movie theater, or my bowling alley, or whatever it is. I need to put it in an area in this mile radius. It's not necessarily about the city
Mm-hmm.
as much as it's about the retail service area. And if I can find the right land in the right corner, and in this 5 mile, 10 mile, 15 mile area, there's enough people, enough income and money in this area where I know I can where I can hit my market numbers.
Right.
Then that's where I'll go.
That's like Starbucks.
Like Starbucks.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but if I wait too long, if the city waits too long to try to bring in those areas, then someone over there might open up. Because 15 miles is past Elgin.
Yeah. Yeah. And that business could be something that attracts other stuff to Manor.
It could be the eastern or southern or eastern part of Pflugerville.
Mm-hmm.
It could be Bastrop. It could be Del Valley. And so, the biggest thing people want are things to be here. So if we're not balancing all the requests and the wants of the city, the residents, and the needs of the city, and all those kinds of things, then we'll miss opportunities. I know one of the things you talked about was people was asking, like, why did we wait so long?
Right.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was I can tell you, the people sitting in the seat now, we didn't wait long for nothing. We got in the seat so that we could do something, and that's what we're doing. We're working hard to do the work. The team I came in with 2019, we were very adamant about moving the city forward.
Okay.
And so I wasn't on council prior to 2019, so I can't speak to the challenges other council members or mayors face. They have to ask them, kind of what they face. I just know when we came in, we inquired, we did the studying, and we worked to try to address those needs and those issues. And we were blessed because we had all the key. We spent the time during the pandemic to meet and meet people virtually, and to learn as much as we could, and that helped us boost our knowledge and boost our network so that we could then come out of the pandemic and pivot and do some things. And so we absolutely have not been wasting time or waiting. And I think for those that are interested in kind of fact checking that, they can go to our city council meetings. They'll see back from 2019, the first things we were talking about was purchasing land, improving parks, economic development, fixing roads, all those kinds of things. As a matter of fact,
Yeah, that's
because
good.
I want to talk about, if you indulge me for a little bit,
Okay.
what I wanted to do, because there's the folks that say we haven't done this or we haven't done that. So I wanted to pull up this is kind of what the budget used to be for streets.
Okay.
And so the annual budget for fixing streets in the city of Maine used to be under $700,000 a year.
Well, fixing streets in Manor was under how much?
700,000.
Okay.
We made huge increases to 500,000 and then 700,000 in the first couple of years that I was mayor.
What's like the average price of fixing a street?
More than that.
Wow. Okay.
So,
That seems like a low amount.
Yeah. Well, now the current budget now is for the entire streets department is about $4 million.
Wow.
So about somewhere between $2 and $3 million, depending on the year and allocation that'll go into roads.
Okay.
On top of another $3 to $6 million, maybe $8 million. I gotta go back and see what the count is. Of BCT funds that we've been able to get back some of our dollars that we have been given to Capital Metro. That's just kind of been going off to Austin. So we've been able to get those dollars back in through a fund called BCT.
Okay.
And those funds allow us to go and fix roads. And so in between 2019 and 2021, we purchased a software system that allows us to evaluate all our roads. And so it's about 65 miles of roads that we evaluated and then created a improvement plan for fixing all those roads.
Okay.
And we've been doing that since 2021.
Okay.
That plan, I think the 2022 or the 2023 plan is on the website to kind of show you all the roads how we outline them, how we prioritize them, what the software does in regards to how it scans it and determines what needs to be done, how long it's going to last when it's done. All that's on the website. We need to update it because we've already surpassed a lot of that work and we've done some other things. And I just think people don't regularly hear about it or see it. I think people have moved in and are now getting engaged in the last 2 years, and they're getting engaged and they're asking a lot of questions because people are posting things on social media, and so they're wondering, well, why this hadn't happened, why that hadn't happened, and it's absolutely because there's another project that's just in front of it.
Okay.
And
it's just in line.
Yeah, because we've already evaluated all the streets, and if you go back to the previous recordings and the things, you can hear us talking about what size, talking about at what point in time do we need to look at the size of the city and the amount of roads that we have at a point so that we can actually start. We talked about purchasing our own street machines and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so we talked about the cost, and we talked about when it would be appropriate and financially feasible to do that. But until then, we have been just looking and analyzing the roads and then renting the machines to get the work done for that. And we've dramatically increased the amount of money that's going to the roads. I think the other piece is that some of the roads aren't ours. There's some county roads that exist that do not belong to us. One of those roads is Cameron,
okay,
which is a back way between Austin, Pflugerville, and Manor. Road, like Manor Road, and Old Highway 20, 973, Lexington, and of course 290. Those are some roads that people kind of always talk about and complain about, but those aren't ours. They're either the state or the county.
Right.
And so part of what we need to do is actually engage those entities so that they do those things. And we talk about the same, when we talked about last month about getting to CTMRA, about the 290 thing. Here's what happens when we show up. I'll give you, or don't show up. We had, for the first time ever, we hosted the Travis County bond election meeting here in Manor. So it's kind of a similar situation like CTMRA. There's, I think, 12 or 13 members that were on this bond committee for Travis County. We hosted them in Manor, and it was an opportunity for residents and people to come and say, hey, what this is what we need in Manor. We need you all to contribute to this road, that road, blah, 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 blah. And we did not have a large turnout. It was just mostly maybe 3 or 4 residents, and the rest were city council and a couple of city staff. So we advocated for the roads we need attention to. We had advocated for Old Highway 20
Mm-hmm.
because that's a major use road that goes all the way down towards Elgin, and we wanted to try to get that expanded to 4 lanes. And we talked about a few other roads the county also had in their 2017 bond package. They actually had roads that were listed as needed to be done, like fixed and created, that would create more east and west
Mm-hmm.
opportunities. But in the 2017 bond, it wasn't funded. So we wanted to see if they would fund those road projects in the 2023 bond. 2023 bond ended up being $533 million.
Okay.
200 million of that, because of the folks on the committee and maybe the voice that was communication that came from the other sites, which most of them were in Austin. At those other meetings, they dedicated 200 million of the 533 million to just creeks, obtaining and preserving creeks. I have no problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
The only challenge I have with that is that we have roads that need to be fixed. And the majority of the roads that they selected to fix are not in the city of Manor. And so like the county road, I really would have loved Old Highway 20 to be fixed, because it would have gave us 4 lanes. It would have helped increase that flow that comes off of 290 from Elgin and Manor. It would have gave us a safer road,
Mm-hmm.
and it would have allowed for more cars to pass through and work out. I mean, we don't want people to have to get off 290, but it would have gave us a safer way for people to come off 290 and navigate
Especially
through the
for
city,
locals.
especially for locals.
Yes.
And so that road wasn't put on there. Most of the roads were in Austin and other places. The ones that were done out here are not in our ETJ, and it's actually for county projects or for the Austin ETJ area. So it benefits the city of Austin in the long run. Again, not hating on their projects or anything they got going on. I just would have wanted to see some money out of the 533 million to come actually on some of those things. So in addition, some of the road projects that were on the 2017 bond that didn't get funded, those didn't get funded either on the 2023 bond.
Right.
And I think instead of folks complaining and arguing and being upset with the city, I think they should come to the town halls and the city council meetings so they can learn how they can advocate with us, how they can be present with us when we're going out and we're advocating, because we're Manor, we're 21,000 people, but we're competing against Pflugerville and Austin.
Right.
And all the other cities in West Austin and South Austin that are part of Travis County, for the same dollars.
Okay.
And so it's not just Manor asking for 500 for a portion of 533 million. It's everyone asking, and Austin is big, so Austin definitely should get a big portion of the pie because they're a big part of the county. But we should too.
Yeah, but it's not as many county roads that's dependent in Austin as it is here in Manor.
On the west part, there are.
Okay.
There are. I just think it's when we start looking at equity.
Mm-hmm.
I think our need is greater because we're fast growing, and because we have people and we have a safety issue, which is another thing that I brought. I want to make sure you're seeing receipts on what I'm saying.
Okay.
So here we have U290 and Greg Manor. But y'all see that, probably can't see it good, but it's an analysis that TxDOT did. And so what they do is they go through and they grade intersections at 290. So we got Greg
Is this
Manor.
the survey that you said they were doing a couple of months ago?
No, this is one they did a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And they looked at number of crashes.
Oh.
And you got the biggest percentages rear end. That means people are running lights or stopping too soon or trying to run the light. But here's the thing that I want to show you is the grading. We got F's on these roads. F's.
Yeah.
We got some B's and A's. But these are based off of improvements. The type of improvements that have to be done that have to get these roads done. And so when you start looking at all these lanes, that lane configuration right there, then it kind of walks into the report and talks about the cost and how much improvement is going to be and all those things just for these intersections. And so what it does is it helps to inform TxDOT on potential costs and safety issues. Well, every time we turn, we're gonna see a bunch of red, yellows, oranges.
Yeah, it is a lot of red, yellow, and orange on that.
Lexington, same thing, unsafe. As we go through all of these, Lexington, Charlotte Glen, Greenberry, because this is what people are constantly asking us.
Right.
Prior to me being in the seat, we didn't have this analysis. And so when we know, because we live here,
right,
that the roads are unsafe, we can just go out there anytime of day and see accidents. The police can tell you that there's constantly accidents.
Yes.
But it's one thing for us to know. It's another thing for us to have a document now that's on hand with TxDOT that says these roads are done. You can see the date here when it was done, January 4th, 2023.
Yes.
So we are doing the work
mm-hmm.
and working through the processes so that we can get our roads fixed and get and ensure that people outside of Maine understand how unsafe these things are. When you're dealing with a major highway, we can't just go fix the intersections. We can't go add a lane. We can't do any of that. TxDOT has to say, traffic has to choose to do that. Now, what we have been able to, and here's a little secret. When a business comes in,
mm-hmm.
TxDOT says you can't build that thing until you do a traffic study analysis. So I understand people people have their feelings about construction and business coming in on 290. But what it does allow for us to do is they have to do a traffic study analysis, traffic impact analysis, and then TxDOT then says to them, hey, you need to create a lane. You need to create a turnoff lane. You need to do this, you need to do that, so that people can get to your area safely. Now, it does a few things. One, it gives us it's free dedicated easement
mm-hmm.
that we don't have to pay for, and right away, and it gives us more. It's widening the space so that over time we don't have to go and pay all this money to obtain easements for the highway to be built.
Right. Okay.
And so it is. I mean, it's not definitely not a solution for all, but it's a little piece of hope, because now that extra turn lane is less of the cost when we need to do the highway later on. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And so is it the same situation for that new light that's been added on 290 right there between HEB and Walmart?
Yes.
Okay. So they wanted to add that light so it'd be safe. That section would be safer for people to get in and out of those new businesses.
That light had to be there because of the safety conditions that already exist. And that's part of the stuff that comes from this report.
Okay.
And that's the work that we are doing. We are having the meetings. We have been having the meetings, and we're bringing those safety things in front of them. And then we're working with our businesses who are actually on the same side of us about ensuring that people are getting turned in, or being able to get into their space safely as possible.
Right.
And so these are wins, small wins, but they're not. It's not the solution.
Big solution.
But these are small wins because we at least are getting some things addressed. We have plans, and the Greenberry development that's across from HEB, that
mm-hmm.
whole big field right there. We're working with the landowner, and hopefully we'll be able to extend another way out of Greenberry. That'll go into 973, so that people have to sit at the Greenberry 290 exit, which is
on there too, huh?
It's on right here. It's the second page. It's the third page, right here, Greenberry driveway. And so part of what we're doing is, as we're bringing in developments, we're trying to work to figure out how to get more roads north and south, east and west, in through that development, through that process, without and that way it's not an additional cost on the residents. And so we already have our budget in our streets department for fixing roads.
Mm-hmm.
To build a road is even more expensive because you have to, wherever you're building that, you got to buy all that land.
Okay.
You got to buy all that land, and you got to do all negotiating with all the landowners to get all that land from that. And so when the developer says, this already own the land, and we say, okay, well, let's have a development agreement. Let's get the traffic impact analysis from TechShot. Hey, we need you to put this road in there. It doesn't, that residents don't see that cost at all.
Okay.
And so it's a lot of information, but that's the shortest way to explain kind of all the intricacies of getting roads and getting roads fixed.
Okay. What else you got?
Well,
I feel like you got way more because you answered a lot of questions.
I'm gonna do my best to answer as much as possible. So there was someone I think that had posed or made a statement about infrastructure.
Okay.
And so this one right here is our updated plan. We've been doing water and wastewater planning and improvement projects since I got here in 2019. I think my first meeting we were looking at the we call it CIP, capital improvement projects. And so in here you can just I'll just show you for people who say we're behind on infrastructure. This plan was 2024.
Okay.
We've already made updates. But you can see that's present day, and that's the present projects. We got a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Of what needs to happen, and the cost already there, where it needs to go. And then we have 15-year plan, and everything that needs to happen through there. And so we've already been chiseling out the next 15 years of in the water wastewater master plan, and and have already budgeted out what those things will cost. You can see here we're talking about $288 million over the next 15, 20 years. So we have a plan, and it's a very good plan, and it's a timely plan because we try to use a mixture of funds to pay for those things, whether it be general obligation bonds, impact fees or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a variety of financial tools that we try to use those things to cover the cost, and then we try to be fiscally responsible by not taking on too many of the projects at one time. And we try to prioritize all the projects so that if we did this project and it was 30 or 40 million,
mm-hmm.
well, guess what? This project brings this water or wastewater project then allows for us to build blah, 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 which is going to add this much ad valorem property taxes. And those property taxes are going to cover that money we just invested there.
Okay. So basically, the money that you're using is investment for the future.
Yes.
To make more investments.
To make more money. So it'll pay itself because we're being strategic about taking a water line all the way down 290 to this one site, because this one site, this 84 development is going to bring in hundreds of millions of dollars of ad valorem. And so that ad valorem property tax is going to cover that cost of running that water line east or running it west or south or whatever it may be.
Okay.
And so we're being strategic in prioritizing projects that are going to bring in the revenue to cover the cost of those things and help us get to a place to where we continue to kind of cut off projects in the sense of paying them off quicker.
And that book that you picked up, all of that is just the master plan for wastewater.
Yes.
That's not even for potable water coming into the city yet.
No, this is just...
That's just a wastewater plan.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah, I'm tripping, man. that's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know how many pages.
And this is what y'all actively working on right now.
Yeah, we've been doing it since before I got on city council.
Okay.
And we've just continued to work, and because the growth has been happening, we've had more meetings since 2019, and we've had more meetings, and then we've had to spend a lot more time with our bond council, our city engineer, consultants, and all those folks. A lot more to talk about moving this project here, pushing this one back, bringing this one up, so that we could, respond quickly to the growth.
Okay.
Some things we still have to move out because we've already done, create the necessary redundancies around the cities for water or whatever, so that when this line goes out, we do this. And so we're simultaneously fixing things and then building for the future. Speaking of building for the future,
Here we go.
a lot of people say that we're not planning or we're not dealing with downtown. So this downtown master plan, covers these areas. It covers from Greg Manor.
Okay.
That's the for this downtown master plan. Greg Manor is the western border.
Okay.
973 is the eastern border.
Mm-hmm.
290 is the northern border, and then I think it ends with maybe Bastrop Street or something down here. No. Let me speak. Blake Manor. Blake Manor is the southern border.
Okay.
So that's those streets. That's the boundary for the downtown plan.
Okay.
Now, what we did was, because again, we're trying to use this. We've learned financial tools, and we're using financial tools. So there's a tool called a TERS, and what the TERS allows us to do is say, here's the amount of money we're making right now on the property taxes for that area. We're not going to increase. We're not going to spend any money above that number. So let's just, for easy's sake, say this downtown area brings in easy money. Let's just say $100,000 a year.
Okay.
All right. So now with new developments going in there, it's going to bring in more than $100,000 a year.
Right.
So what we're saying is we're not going to spend that additional money on anything. We're not going to put that in our general fund to hire police or hire staff or invest in this or that. What we're going to do is all the dollars that come in over that 100,000, we're going to actually invest in that downtown area improvements. And in this plan, it talks about the improvements. Let me see if I can get the actual quote from here so that because I know people know what we're talking about. But the actual improvements are dealing with water and wastewater, street improvements. Here you can kind of see some of the street designs where we're talking about on-street parking in some areas, 4 lanes, 2 going 2 different directions on the downtown streets. Here we got visual images where we're putting some signage and walkable areas, resident infill where we work with landowners to either bring in some more houses or some housing density so that people can live downtown and and go from there. We talked about connectivity. So here's where we're talking about sidewalks and trail connectivity and spaces like that. So you can see a trail going from Benny Fisher Park north, and then some trails that are going around here to the Jenny Lane Park, basically, so you can go from park to park to park. And then eventually taking a trail towards, the Pflugerville trails. The blue ones are improvement streetscapes, where we're going to actually have, a different kind of street design. And in those streetscapes there. Here we got kind of some more recommendations for how Parsons Street can look downtown. This is the 4-way stop area where the Manor grocery is.
Okay.
And so forth. Just kind of some things to
beautify it.
Beautify it.
Oh, that's that intersection.
That's that intersection right there with the light. So beautification, bringing in different things that's going to really make it a space where people want to park and just kind of go hang out in that area. Dealing with the drainage issues, I think, here's the park trails. So you can see how this goes all the way through from this trail right here goes to Austin. So we would take this trail and go all the way towards Ribarber Creek open space, and then, which is one of the county projects that they spent $200 million on.
So this is like a bike trail that you could just
bike trail, walking trail.
Well, that's a long walking trail.
This one would go all the way. Well, that's the intention, is because a lot of people like to bike those things.
Right.
And so, but if I'm in Manor, I don't want to bike all the way that way. So I want to have a good distance where I can bike here in the area. And we want to have trails that connect. So we want to send a couple out towards Elgin. And then we're going to send a couple up north towards Pflugerville to connect to their trail system. And then hopefully Taylor would do the same thing. And then we can go basically take a trail.
Wow, all the way
up there. And, just kind of as possible mirrors, parallel with some Water Creek systems from there. We're definitely deal with drainage downtown and all those things. And so the total investment that we're talking about doing is about about 32 to $40 million.
And this is going to include like your incubator
It
areas.
can.
Okay.
It can include all those kind of things. Talks about stuff around the rail, wayfinding, branding, gateways, infrastructure, drainage, and it just clearly outlines the goals of what the plan is for that area, and the different activities and events and different things we want to do in those areas. Talks about the setback code recommendations and so forth. So a lot of time and energy workshops that have taken place over a couple of years to build that. The When you don't have a plan, things don't happen.
Yeah.
And so what we wanted to do was start creating a plan so things could happen. And then and what we also did was we changed our city manager's evaluation. And so when we hired our new city manager, Scott Moore, and he's an awesome dude, because he had no opposition. He's like, yeah, please hold me accountable. So his evaluation, we set goals based off of these documents.
Okay.
And his ability to work towards those goals is how he continues to stay in the city.
All right.
So he's still here because he's chiseling away at all these goals.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. You see, I have a little hesitation.
Yeah. Well, tell me your hesitation.
So he's chiseling away at those goals, which is commendable. I think what you showed me, and I hope everybody else can see this stuff too, right? They can see it online or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's impressive. I can see the plan, and if you don't have a plan, you don't go nowhere. So I see that. Man, I am. It is because, the reason I have hesitation because I have no first hand knowledge of it. It's just things that I hear.
Mm-hmm.
He's chipping away at that. That's one of the main reasons he's still there. But a lot of people in town have concerns about the city manager.
Okay. Well, what are the concerns?
And see, that's why I'm hesitant to bring it up because it's just what I hear.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit up here and speak on what I hear because I don't know how true it is or not untrue. I don't even want to get it wrong. But I know we all hear things about how people are treated and stuff like that. How different areas are managed.
Yeah. So that you don't have to go into that, let me talk to you about what our system looks like. We have a 360 evaluation system. That means all of the leaders and the departments and the staff give feedback to their supervisor and give feedback to their supervisor, and that information plays in how we evaluate our city manager as well.
Okay.
So when we look for the complaints so that we can give feedback and direction on how to move forward and do this or do that. There aren't any.
Okay.
So what we do have is people that maybe sometimes are frustrated about being held accountable because the way we do business now in our city and the way business was done is completely different. I'll give an example. Maybe sometimes in the past people took 2-3 hour lunches.
I heard about this.
Maybe sometime in the past people didn't, work as hard or those kinds of things. Well, now, when accountability comes, when accountability increases, you also have an increase in what's called disgruntled employees.
Okay.
And so what we have to do is then see if there's a correlation. Are we increasing accountability and people are getting upset about accountability, or are we increasing, or the complaints going up because of just the person? But right now, because we've increased accountability on our one employee and he's increased it on the entire organization, we've seen a slight increase of complaints. Now, there's not a lot. So I think what happens when you're a small city, 21,000 people, and everybody grows up together, I can call one person or I can post one post. And because everyone maybe not know, or they have a belief about government, or they have a belief about just people in general, or they have a belief about small towns.
Right.
My one post can cross 200 to 300 people think something is wrong.
Fair enough.
But we have to go back and look at the data. And we don't have enough data. We do not have data that's substantiated to say that there's a bunch of staff concerns. We have probably less than 5.
Okay.
And I'm saying less than 5, maybe less than that, of complaints. And so what we're dealing with is folks that maybe didn't like how the situation was handled with them. And so they're saying what they're saying on social media. And you know, the city's not going to get out there and say, that's wrong, that's wrong. We're not going to get in the business doing that. So we're not in the business of trying to defend ourselves against, you know, somebody's free speech.
Mm-hmm.
What we're in the business of doing is taking care of the people and planning for the people and working to do that. And so our council members have an expectation in regards to how people are treated. And if we were in a situation where those things weren't taken, where it wasn't happening,
Mm-hmm.
they would absolutely be having a conversation in executive session with our city manager. People have to pause and take some time to get to know folks.
Okay.
Before they run with rumors and
Yes.
speculation. He's at every event that we throw.
Yeah.
And I think if they go and meet him, get to talk to him and see his heart, this dude gives everything for the community, for his family, for staff members. Like he's a genuinely good man, good person. And when you have someone in a leadership role like that, it moves into the work. Is he perfect? Nobody's perfect.
Right.
You know, but are we walking around with all kind of, you know, grievances filed against the city? Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. These are just the negatives. I think that it's easy. It's real. It's unfortunate, but it's just easy for someone to say someone's bad and people just pick up on it and roll with it. So I encourage everyone that has a question about it. Just gonna meet him. He's literally everywhere we have an event.
Okay.
He was at the event
On Saturday. I saw
Saturday.
you took a picture with him.
It was his birthday.
Oh, okay.
And he was with us. So I'm just saying he cares about the city. He checks on us. He came spend time there with his wife. They came out. He brings his family down from events so they can participate in things. So he's there.
Right.
He's a very present city manager. He's not sitting in the office and going somewhere else for the weekend. He lives in the community. He is here. And even on his vacation time, he's accessible to us. Even on his birthday, he's accessible to us.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's not someone that's just walking around being mean to people. Someone that's walking around being mean to people and harming people is not coming to the stuff they don't have to come to.
Yeah.
They'll task that to somebody else. So people just have to come out and meet people. I mean, it's the same thing we talked about a while back when people have judgment calls about me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I made everything. Well, not everything because I got a lot of stuff. But I met as much as I can.
Right.
Everybody would tell you, you can just walk up and come talk to me.
That's a true statement. It is a true statement.
I'll talk to you. I get to know me. You know who I am. I'm very transparent. A lot about me is on social media. I'm not hard to find. I tell you who I am, and that's where I try to be. I try to be a person of integrity. I love and care about people. When I'm not doing city stuff, when I'm not working, I run nonprofits. I give scholarships to kids every year in the Travis County area, in the Hutto area. We have marriage enrichment where we help couples that are married, my wife and I. I mean, there's a ton of stuff we do, and we don't get paid for it. It's because we genuinely care about people.
Right.
And so get to know us. Get to know us, and I think you will. And I think getting to know the person allows you to give a person an opportunity to kind of share without bias, without your bias and without your lens about what's really going on. So I think people, they always talk about transparency and integrity and accountability and stuff like that, but really they haven't even got to know the people or get to know or know what's actually taking place.
Right.
And I think when you get to know the person or the persons, and you actually start seeing what we know, what we've seen, then I think it'll be absolutely a different take. And everything is out there. Like we videotape, and our meetings are out there. All of the documents are on the website. So I mean, we don't hide anything. We don't just post summaries. We put as much as possible on our website so that people can go and read and see for yourself.
Okay. Now I have a personal question. Now I already know I'm not blaming y'all.
Okay.
I'm not blaming y'all. I remember I seen a post, and this lady said the city should do something about these telephone poles, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I know y'all have nothing to do with the train
Mm-hmm.
or the railroad tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna ask, do y'all have communication with the railroad? And have they ever told y'all why they run the train first thing in the morning during morning traffic?
That's the railroad is a bigger entity,
Okay.
and we've tried to do our best to figure out those solutions. And here's how you get the train to run through the city and not hunt the horn.
Okay.
You have to build all the crossings.
Oh, with all the drop downs.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we've had some conversations recently about
So the city has to buy the build those?
I don't know if it's us
Okay.
or if it's working with a different entity to do that. So what we've done so far is we're trying to work to get an estimate. And we talked about maybe some opportunities to petition the federal government for grants for safe crossings,
Okay.
so that we can at least get the money and say, hey, can we do it? And if they say yes, then we put the crossings, because that's why they have to hump the horn.
Well, the horn is not the issue. It's just the fact that they're going through at 6 in the morning when everybody's on the road to go to work.
Well, and I think that's the second piece.
Okay.
The biggest, at least for myself, the bigger complaints I have is about the horn.
Oh, I never even noticed the horn.
The horn, I mean, I don't know, you must sleep hard. The horn goes, it's absolutely starting somewhere between 3 and 4 a.m.
So I think I'm understanding. So basically, they go around that time because people are more up at that time, around 6 and up. Because if they went sooner, they would have to honk the horn and they would be disturbing more people.
So,
man, that's a rough problem.
Every time they cross the little roads, even if it's a dirt road, they got to do the horn, and they got to do it so often until they get past it or whatever.
Okay.
For alerts, because it's not the hand crossings, that arm crossings that come down. And so let's just talk about from Liddick Road, Highway 20 Parsons,
okay,
where Ghost Town is.
Okay. Yeah.
I had the number in my head, but there's at least from there all the way to Lexington, which is maybe almost 10.
10 horns.
No, yeah, 10 crossings.
10 crossings.
And I think
and if you have to blow 3 times per crossing.
I think only 2. It's less than 10 or less. But there's only 2 that have the crossing arms.
Okay, right. Well, okay, but that's a lot of crossing arms. And no telling how much that's going to be. Yeah, you got to have triggers and everything else.
So what it leads, where we at is we're investigating opportunities to seek for funding.
Okay.
Deeper diving into the study, into the situation, kind of know what we can and can't do. I mean, we can absolutely, where there's, I think over there by Parsons, there's 1, 2, 3 crossings back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe put one crossing and close off the other road. You know, I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying I'm in favor. I'm just saying now you can put 1 or 2 crossings instead of having to do 3. So, right. But that's the work that has to be done to find those solutions, and somebody has to pay for it. And so let's be honest about it. No city carries a railroad crossing budget.
It would have to come out of a budget that you already have. It has to have extra money in it. Yeah.
So those are the kind of situations that we have to look at. Okay, if we're going to do this ourselves because we're not hearing back from them in a timely fashion, then blah blah blah. We got to do that. The railroad needs to be updated because it just every so often it derails, and so we don't own it. And the rail company has not come in to do overhaul of all the rail systems, and so those are things that we are working. When I participate on national committees, and while I'm there with the U.S. Department of Transportation, those are the conversations we're having. Is we're trying to work to try to navigate the bureaucracy so that we can get to the people we need to get to, so that we can have the regular scheduled meetings to talk about how to get the technical assistance to either find the money or make them find the money to do the projects. And so once we get enough information, we can start petitioning our congresspersons and saying, hey, can you do a set aside for us so that we can take this big money and then do this on those roads. But I think that's all those things going together. So it's not the crossings impact when it's going through, but we also don't have a say on the routes.
Right.
And so that's just kind of one of those things where local government doesn't own it, but it doesn't mean we can't research and find out what other cities are doing and how they're and who we need to have conversations with, either in the local, state, or national scene, to try to do those things. And that's the other thing on top of the other things that we're trying to do. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of we have way more requests than we have manpower
Mm-hmm.
to do the work. And so, because like I said, we have a very urban population here. We have a lot of people that have lived in larger cities and they have larger city expectations, but we're still a small city that is technically rural, but no longer rural, that's growing extremely fast
Mm-hmm.
and trying to not increase the tax above what they are and have a workable plan forward without increasing the tax rate. And that's a lot because everyone else around us said raise the taxes. And we can actually raise the tax rate without going to the voters because we still have room.
Mm-hmm.
But with council and we met and we talked about it, we did not want to do that. And so that's just where we're at. We're trying to do our best with the funds that we have.
And that's why I enjoy these conversations, because just with me with this train, it never dawned on me everything that is required and needed in order just to make this simple fix, because it's not like, moving a plant. You have you are uprooting a lot of things just to make one small convenience for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, this is a historic railway. It's been here since forever. It goes
Yeah.
from
the
Houston
beginning of
area.
Manor.
Well, it's connected to all the stuff in Houston and the ports, and it goes all the way downtown to Austin. So I mean, it's a major railway.
Right.
So it's not like we can just be like, you can't come through.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's incredible. It's just don't want to blow the horn, and that cascades down to, I mean, like literally hundreds of people being inconvenienced and being late for work, where you can leave work at a normal time. Let's say you left work at 6 o'clock, you get to work 10 or 15 minutes early.
Mm-hmm.
That one situation when that train comes through puts you behind almost 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And
If you're going south.
especially if you're going south.
Yeah. But if you're going, I think if you're going west, there's ways to get around the train. It's just a longer route, go around, or you have to jump to the toll.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, part of that 973 realignment brings you over the train tracks.
Right.
So you actually be able to come from the south part of Manor, like y'all's neighborhood. You can actually go. I think you'll be able to go a little bit south, get onto the realignment, and then get to 290 and go over the tracks in the realignment.
Okay.
So whenever that one's done, that'll kind of be the case. That's hence another issue, right? You got plans that have been made, and there's this 973 realignment is sitting there. It's going to sit there until it's funded.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone's going to keep complaining about a solution that's already been designed.
Already put in place. It's just waiting for the money.
It's waiting for the money, and that's tough because TxDOT is not going to come out here and answer all those questions. We got to answer them all. So we got to keep saying to people, and that's the thing. Like, as we're adding, this area is probably adding 1,000 to 2,000 people a year. Between us, Elgin, and Bastrop, maybe 3,000 people a year, something like that.
Okay.
And so as the new people come into the area, they ask the same question someone asked last year. And so we'll sit here a year from now.
Mm-hmm. We'll be sitting here talking about the same thing.
The train. Hopefully the highway will be under construction, but the complaint will be how long it's going to take for the highway. You know what I mean? There's always going to be people going to come in and they're going to not know. Because think about it, if I was a mayor, I would not know how to find any of this information.
Right.
And so people are going to come in, they're going to not know how to find the answers. And so, but they're on social media, and so social media is going to tell them everything is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
The whole city is trash. All the people are trash, and so and you had a bad day on 290. So guess what you're gonna believe? Nobody's doing anything. Everybody's trash. There's no plans. There's nothing going on. It's just absolutely not the case. We can't snap our fingers or wave a wand to get what we want. If we could, we would. We're absolutely having regular meetings with folks. Mayor Wallace, when he was in the seat, he created a quarterly calendar, and that just took a lot of sweat equity to just get that.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to build that relationship and to counter what the perceptions that existed. He navigated that hard part, and now we're able to build on that and have regular scheduled meetings monthly that sometimes city staff get to have and do the thing now. But now that we are having the meetings, now we have to have the other pieces, and the other pieces are just getting the public involved, getting the public on the same page with the city about, hey, we need y'all to show up here. And then the public go show up there in numbers and say what the city needs them to say so that we can get what we need. Because if it takes me 5 months to 7 months to get a presentation here about a highway solution and 30 people come.
You're right.
I don't know how long it's going to take me to get, if we're not successful now, I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get them back again.
Right.
In this particular case, it wasn't 5 to 7 months. We took years
to get them back to the table.
Just to get here.
Yeah.
And so with a lot of effort and with people on the other side willing to come to the table.
Okay.
And it still took years.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's not as easy what people say. When people say, replace them or whatever, it does a couple of things. It undermines the work, but it starts the clock over.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you told me back that even if you had a new mayor come in, it's going to take them at least 18 months to get onboarded, just to get them caught up to where you're at now.
Just to the basics of how it works.
Oh.
Not even, but now you got to start spending time learning about all the PIDs, all the TERS, all the SIPs, all the PUDs, all the MUDs. And I'm saying acronyms on purpose because people, I want you to be looking at like, what's all that stuff? You got to learn all that stuff. You got to learn what it means, what the acronyms stand for, and that's just a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to start on how does planning and zoning work? What are things we can and can't do? What is the normal process for zoning for these kinds of things, so that you don't get up there and try to vote something down that you are legally obligated to do, because then you're gonna get sued.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, so you got to learn planning and zoning. You got to learn. There's so much stuff you have to learn to be on city council, and when we are not preparing ourselves in advance, we set the entire city back.
All right.
And that's why the people need to hold us accountable. Anyone that's running needs to prove their worth in regards to sharing the knowledge, speaking truth, and not saying negative things. Like you can be disappointed about a decision, but we're one team. You know what I'm saying? And you don't ever see a football team going out and talking about how sucky they are. We just a bad team, because what's going to happen? The manager's going to fire them.
Mm-hmm.
But in our situation, the more we speak negative about ourselves, the less people want to stay here to do business. The less people want to live here. And when people start abandoning their homes and businesses start bouncing, that tax obligation falls on everyone who remains.
Right.
And that's not what we want to do. So even if we don't agree with stuff, let's disagree or give feedback the right way. City council meetings, city surveys, download the city app and give feedback there so that we can hear it and process it, because we do. I mean, I don't know what other cities do, but here we actually do. So.
All right. Last thing. See, the water tower finished painted.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. Somebody said, they spending money on that water tower. I'm like, why would you not want that? I mean, how many dollars is that going to cost out of the city budget to paint this water tower for us to have pride in our city? I think it's a good investment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's what we enjoy when we go to other cities.
Right, exactly.
When you go to a downtown of a different city and they got their branding and they got these things there. You go to some large cities or even some small cities and they got like some historic areas and the street signs are a different color.
Yeah.
They got a different type of street light and they got banners and all those kinds of things.
Right.
They got stuff for festivals. That's investment. They took dollars and they invested in those things, and it makes you want to be there. It makes you want to hang out in that downtown area.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have to invest dollars in the look and feel of your city, and you just have to. Otherwise, it's kind of like in the education world we talk about. Or there's research. Let's just keep it there. There's research that talks about a classrooms, a school, school A and school B. You can take two kids from the same neighborhood and put one in a brand new school, put one in a tore down school,
right?
And they're going to leave with different levels of self esteem in regards to themselves. And they're going to in the run down school. That kid is going to look at the kid in the new school, and they're going to think that they're better. They're also going to think that they're smarter. They're going to think that also people like them better than themselves. All that stuff is going to start trickling on their mindset.
Right.
When your city doesn't look a certain way, doesn't have certain things, you start thinking negative. And that's what we see on social media. We have so many people that are looking at things that we don't have and not where we're trying to go. And so it starts to create a negative vibe. And we start talking about the negatives. We don't have this. We don't do this. When this, and then you start seeing, that's why I left. That's why I'm leaving. I can't wait to sell my house. Blah, 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 blah. It's the negativity,
right,
that fuels that. So you have to start working together on the same be on the same page about beautification, same page about the investment, and same page about understanding how our words destroy and how our words impact those things. So yes, I mean it looks beautiful. I've gotten people have already posted about that in other spaces. I've talked to several city leaders and other places that have recently driven through, and it was like, hey man, that looks good.
Yeah.
It marks that y'all are moving in the right direction, is what some of them have said. And so, you got to do some things. We may I know some people probably might say, well, you didn't agree about the funding, about how it was going to go. I did not agree about how it was going to be paid for. I want it to be paid a certain way, and that's what we did, because I think the how is important. So
okay.
Just a side note.
Okay.
Just a side note. I'm always, and council will tell you, I get zeroed in on. I think it's better to do it this way, that way, or whatever. But the key is getting it done. And so I say this, I will tell you that too. Harvey be like, I don't know about that. I get too deep into the house sometimes, not in a negative way, but in just making sure that it's foolproof for years to come.
Okay.
And that we set a precedent, so if we use it now, then whatever we use now needs to be the precedent for people in the future. That pain wear off, and let's use that fund again. Let's approach it from that space again, the same bucket of money, to do it again, so that we're not dipping in this money, because this money really needs to be for that original purpose and intent.
Okay.
And so, but that's a whole other conversation.
I think it's, I'm always joking. I think it's like Inception that we got a water tower on the water tower. Yeah. Man, I appreciate you coming in, man. That's right on time. We got 30 seconds left. So, anything you want to throw out there? Anything you want to, any events or something that you want to announce?
Come see us on at our National Night Out at Timberman Park for our Halloween event and safety event with Manor Police, and complete the survey for CTMRA. Please understand that we have a solution. We may not have the solution everybody wants, but we do have a highway solution. And so let's take this opportunity and get our roads, get a highway, and get some safety going.
And I'm going to work with the mayor to try to get some more people in here to talk. One of the people I would like to try to get in here is the emergency manager that you talk about. Police chief said that was a person that really need to get in here. And I think it is important to get her in here. So we can put out some of the emergency things for the city. That way, everybody can be prepared.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna get his help. It's good to
problem
know
at all.
somebody.
No problem at all.
And next month we'll probably be on our right schedule, and he'll be in here the second Monday of the month. And until then, oh, and next week I have Wayne back in here. The past couple of times we had some problems with the broadcast. I do want to get this stuff out there because I think the Manor history is important.
I'm sorry.
What you remember?
Shout out to Councilman Aaron Moreno, who's working with a team of people and on the Greater Hispanic Chamber.
Okay.
Creating the Greater Hispanic Chamber out here. So that's I'm looking forward to that and the scope of the work that they're going to try to do under that. And then more to come on a future endeavor that he and I talked about doing together for some community programs.
Okay.
So shout out to you, Aaron, Councilman Moreno, for your leadership and your forethought, and look forward to connecting you on those projects we talked about Saturday.
All right, and that's going to be it. Only thing else I got to add is I started a Frontline Manor YouTube page, so it's just going to be dedicated just to Frontline Manor, and I plan on making a Facebook page just for Frontline Manor. That way, it's not being buried by a whole bunch of stuff that I'm trying to do. So I really want to continue this. I really want to get this information out there, and I really want this to be for you. If you find any enjoyment, any usefulness out of this, just let us know. If you have any question, I'm not afraid to ask it. Put it out there. As you can see, I'm reading the stuff that's out there, and I'm trying to get it out there so you can get the answers that you need instead of just assuming. Because when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. So, thank you for joining us on Frontline Manor. I'm your host, Kevin Stewart, Mr. Do Right You Didn't Know. This is Dr. Harvey, and until next time, peace. I gotta produce today, so.